If you've ever felt like you're carrying the weight of everyone else's happiness on your shoulders, if you've ever apologized for things that weren't your fault, if you've ever changed your entire plan just so someone else wouldn't feel upset, then listen very carefully. Because what I'm about to tell you is one of the most dangerous psychological traps people fall into every single day, especially women. And hardly anyone sees it coming until it has already taken control of their life. This trick is called the guilt trap, and once you understand it, you'll finally realize why so many people walked over your boundaries, why you stayed in situations that drained your energy, why you kept giving, even when you were exhausted, and why certain people had so much power over your emotions without ever raising their voice. The guilt trap doesn't start with anger, threats, or shouting. It starts with softness, with disappointment, with silence, with that subtle shift in someone's tone that makes you suddenly question yourself. Did I do something wrong? And here's the crazy part. The guilt that you feel doesn't come from your actions. It comes from their manipulation. Let me take you into a real-life example most people in the United States, especially women, experience but don't recognize. Imagine you finally decide to focus on your health. You join the gym, you're eating better, you're working on your mental peace, you're finally choosing yourself. But the moment you start setting boundaries like, I need some time for myself, someone close to you, maybe a friend, a coworker, or a family member, suddenly says, "Oh, so you don't have time for me anymore? You've changed." And boom, that one line destroys the excitement you had. You go from feeling proud of yourself to feeling guilty. You start thinking, am I being selfish? Did I hurt them? But the truth is, you did nothing wrong. You simply took a step toward a healthier life, and instead of supporting you, they twisted your growth into a personal attack against them. This is the guilt trap. The manipulator doesn't argue. They don't shout. They don't tell you directly to stop focusing on yourself. They simply act hurt. They sigh. They drop subtle comments like, "It's fine," "I'll figure everything out alone," or, "I guess I just expected more from you." And suddenly, without you realizing it, you feel responsible for their emotions. This is exactly how the guilt trap works, by targeting a person's empathy, especially women who are raised in a society that constantly tells them to be nice, polite, caring, selfless. People know this, and manipulators use it like a weapon. Let's go even deeper. Imagine a situation at work, something US women experience all the time. You say no to an extra task because you're already overloaded. Instead of respecting your boundary, a coworker or boss replies, "Wow, I thought you were a team player." That's not feedback, that's guilt manipulation, or family situations, especially common for many women in the US. You need time alone, but a relative says, "After everything I've done for you, you can't even give me a few hours?" They're not asking for help, they're demanding obedience using guilt as the currency. You feel the pressure instantly. Your chest tightens. Your mind goes into conflict. You don't want to disappoint anyone. You don't want to look uncaring. You don't want to be seen as someone who doesn't help. This internal conflict is what the manipulator wants. When guilt enters, your decision-making becomes weak. You say yes, even when your whole body wants to say no. And here's what's even more shocking. Guilt is such a powerful emotion that it makes intelligent, strong, independent people feel emotionally trapped. Not because they are weak, but because they care. Manipulators know this. They study your strengths and turn them into vulnerabilities. They know you dislike hurting people. They know you avoid conflict. They know you want to be kind. So they twist your kindness into a leash. Let's talk about the silent guilt trap, a method used heavily in the US, especially in workplaces and close relationships. This happens when someone doesn't say anything. They just change their mood. They become distant, cold, quiet. You ask, "Are you okay?" And they reply, "I'm fine." But the tone says otherwise. Their silence becomes a punishment. They want you to feel uncomfortable, you to feel responsible, you to fix the situation, even though you didn't do anything wrong. This is intentional. Silent guilt is more powerful than loud anger, because your mind fills the silence with fear and self-blame. Another tactic is the scorecard method. A manipulator suddenly brings up every good thing they ever did for you. Remember when I helped you with that? Remember when I supported you? Remember what I sacrificed? They're not mentioning it because they care. They're mentioning it because they want leverage. They want you to feel obligated. They want you to feel like you owe them something. Healthy people don't keep score. Manipulators do. Let's talk about a scenario many US women face. You say you're too tired to meet someone, and instead of respecting your need to rest, they say, "Oh, so you have energy for everything else except me?" That's emotional blackmail disguised as disappointment. Or imagine telling someone you need space, and they say, "So now I'm a burden to you?" Even though you never said that, suddenly you feel guilty. You start explaining, justifying, apologizing, and that's how the trap tightens. The more you explain, the more control they gain. And here's something psychological that most people don't realize. A manipulator doesn't want your time. They want your obedience. They don't want your help. They want your submission. They don't want your love. They want your guilt. Because guilt makes you predictable. Guilt makes you easy to control. Guilt makes you say yes when you desperately want to say no. But here's the truth. US women need to hear clearly. You are not responsible for someone else's reactions to your boundaries. You are not responsible for emotions that someone manufactures on purpose. You are not responsible for fixing someone who refuses to take accountability for their own behavior. So how do you break the guilt trap? First, recognize it. If someone gets upset only when you put yourself first, that's not love, that's manipulation. Second, stay calm. Don't over-explain. A simple line is enough. "I understand you feel this way, but this is what I need to do." You're not fighting, not apologizing, not collapsing. You're simply choosing yourself. Third, remind yourself. Their disappointment does not equal your wrongdoing. Fourth, understand this. People who truly care about you will never make you feel guilty for having needs, dreams, or limits. People who want control will guilt trip you every time you try to grow. The guilt trap loses power the moment you stop accepting blame that doesn't belong to you. You're not selfish for having boundaries. You're not wrong for taking care of yourself. You're not a bad person for choosing peace over pressure. And once you break free from the guilt trap, you'll notice something incredible. The people who truly love you will respect your boundaries. And the people who only love the control will disappear. And that, right there, is your freedom. If this video brought you even a little bit of clarity or strength today, make sure to like the video, share it with someone who needs this message, and subscribe for more powerful psychology insights. And don't forget to comment below. Have you ever experienced the guilt trap without realizing it? Your story might help someone else break free.